I think that's been the greatest thing for me, is having these connections of knowing that the ancestors are with us, but then having that connection to the people who are trying to keep it alive without preaching or anything, just doing it, just getting it done.
And each weaver knows what the other had to go through to get what they got here.
Yeah.
But we're not even,
hello. We went into our own thing.
Yeah, we're just talking.
Here we are. Just,
sometimes I think that's probably
the way elders would be.
Right, you just get them together and they just start talking.
And I found out about Darlene that she is about the same age as my second oldest child, Wendy. Okay, here we go.
Maybe a good place to start, if each of you could introduce yourself to the other. Obviously you guys know each other.
Well, we just met. Oh. We did, I know.
We do not know each other.
I know. Anyway, I popped onto Patreon and the photos, and I saw your name. I was like, oh, wow, there's Darlene.
There's Darlene.
There's Darlene. And so I knew of you, but it's wonderful to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a nickname where they call me Snooky. Snooky at home. But to answer your questions, I'm a Sklallam, native from Washington State, and I've been there all my life. Had to leave my home for going back to college and finishing my master's degree, double, and became a school teacher, a counselor, and a school psychologist, and went into clinical psychology. And the clinical psychologist, I set that aside because I was by that time in my 70s, and I needed to go back to Seattle University to get my certificate in education. It's very hard to get a certificate. So, but to the robe itself, let's see, the Sklalams are in the Sklallam County in Washington State, and they span all up the coast, the northwest coast. And so up into the peninsula, up by the Makah Nation, and all the way down. There's 3 bands of us that are there. And when they came to settle us, they cut us up into different portions, and so they cut us up into that way. But to the weaving, about 25, 30 years ago, I was down into Damascus, Oregon. Have you heard that where John Baird is? Well, we went there and we were doing Navajo weaving, which was exciting. But then they said, well, there's another, Cheryl Samuels showed up, and so she was doing a class, and I got there and said, oh, this is just perfect for me. I can do this. This is something of my people, and this is great. So I went there, but I was late and I couldn't sign up. She was so full. And I was watching, and my heart was just breaking. I just, oh gosh, and I'm the only native in the room. Oh. And she walks up to me, bless Cheryl. Cheryl Samuels is the author of Revive It Back, all of it. And so she took this bundle of yarn, and she said, it's in your spirit, just weave.
Oh, beautiful.
It's in your spirit,
Beautiful.
Just weave. Mm-hmm. And tears were running down my face, just weave. And I just stood there, and that was the beginning with Cheryl Samuels, just doing that. And then ever since, through the years, have taken time with her to learn the art of Raven's Tail. Mm-hmm. And so I did a robe, and I did several small pieces in Raven's Tail, which is different than Chilkat. And Chilkat is the offspring of Raven's Tail. And so now I'm going to do a little bit of Chilkat because I want to learn how that moving back and forth and making the pictures. Mm-hmm. And part of the reason for all of this adventure is I went to Chicago to see this robe that I've been dreaming of since maybe 40 years ago, 50 years ago. I saw it in a book, and it was of the Klumachin, which means orca, killer quail. And I called the museum and said, I'm really interested in this. Can I come and see it? Oh, no. Oh, why? Oh, we have it locked up. We don't let anybody touch that robe. And I told her who I was, and so then I waited another 10 years or so. I called them back. No. And so through the years, every so often, then the last time I called 3 years ago now, I said, I'm coming, but what I would like to do is see this particular robe. She says, well, it is behind glass, and I'm not sure we'll be able to get it out. And I said, oh, gosh. So I said, I want to come and see it anyway. I have to see it because it's a big, big robe, and I think I would call it a transition of raven's tail and chilkat because it has the whale in it. And the rest of it is raven's tail, twining, you know, that type of thing. And so I got there, and she had it all spread out. And she said, it's yours. Just sit there, touch it, record it, do whatever you want, she said. And I did for 4 days, and I took pictures of it, and that's my dream, is to do that robe with my people, with the Sklalams who are Klumachin. And so she said, is there anything else, Darlene? And the night before, I had a dream. And I said, I want a copy of the original drawing of the whale. And she said, well, of course, no problem. She was Chippewa, the girl, the curator. She says, of course. And she said, well, you can draw whatever you want. I said, oh, I'm not getting near you with a Sharpie. So they drew it for me. And I have it. Oh. And so now I need to learn chilkat. And I don't know how to do chilkat.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
So, and this robe was happening during Lily Hope, who has been my mentor in the group that's with Lily Hope. You're part of that in some way, right? And so I managed to find Lily Hope. What a spiritually and wonderfully, I can't tell you. I just found family when I found that group of people from all over the country, you know that.
Yes. Yeah.
And my story of my robe is 5 generations because I'm a great-great-grandmother. I've been married for 50 years to my husband, 5 again, so it's those 5 generations. It has the lightning rod, lightning up above, because that shows the life of being alive. You have storms, you have beauty and everything. The blue in my robe is the Salish Sea. So that represents the Salish Sea. And so then as you go down, there are 4 boxes on my robe. And that represents my 4 children and their continuing generations. And the spiral weft doesn't end evenly because it's continuing. It's where I had to be done. That's my robe.
It's gorgeous.
Now I need to hear about your robe.
Yes. Kudeiyatóon to Kudataan Tláa Darlene. My Tlingit name is Kudeiyatóon and Kudataan Tláa. I'm Kachari from the Raven Land Otter clan, and I'm Tlingit, and my father is Inungan. My father's Aleut. So I first started weaving. Well, I didn't know I was going to be a weaver. I didn't know. I was with a friend up in Haines, and I was visiting with his grandmother, and he had gone out to go visit with somebody. And so, they were there, and they were quite a while, and thought, maybe I'll go take a look. So I went out the end of the building, and I peeked around the corner, and I saw this woman point at me, and then my friend called me over, and it was Clarissa Hudson.
Oh, Clarissa Hudson.
At the time, Clarissa Hudson.
Okay.
Right? And so, as you know, she learned from Jenny Clenott, and Jenny told her, one day you're going to meet someone, and you're not going to charge her. You're going to teach her how to weave chilkat. And she goes, well, how will I know? Well, you'll know right the minute you see her, you'll know, And so when I peeked around the corner and I looked to find my friend, and she was pointing like, who is that? And he told her, and we met, and we were just visiting Haines. I lived in Juneau. Of course, she lived here. And she says, are you interested in learning how to chilkat weave? Like, oh my goodness, I've always wanted to, you know, I've always wanted to. The only thing I've done up to that point was I did some engraving when I was, my first love was silver engraving, but spruce root, you know. And so, and I've always, oh gosh, if I ever get the chance, you know. I said, well, anyway, it happened. It came here, and she had a class that winter in Juneau. And so it was a mixture of Chilkat with Raven's Tail. So that was my first introduction to that, you know. And it was truly an amazing experience. I was really busy, really busy. But I had continued to weave a few pieces. And I was able to take Cheryl Samuel's class too, through the UAS. But there was several people who died that I was very close to, you know. My husband, my mother, and my aunt, my second mom, my best friend, my aunt. And so over a period of time, just when I thought I was going to be able to weave again, another,
I understand.
you know, would happen. And so I laid everything down for many years. And
I understand.
so I started back into cedar and spruce root first when I finally was able to, and I was clear enough to be doing that. And but my love was Chilkat and Raven's Tail, you know. And so I'd heard about Lily's Patreon class, right? And I thought, perfect, you know, my friend, my mentor, her daughter, you know, it would put perfect timing. And so to be doing that during COVID, it was wonderful to get back into weaving again, you know, to just shake off the cobwebs and like, okay, let's go on to this healing journey. And that's what it's been. It's what it's been.
This is so much similar. There's been so many passings of family in my family too. We're kind of like the hospice husband, and my husband and I are sisters and cousins and brothers. We go and care for people. But how I went up and I studied with Cheryl Samuels. Oh, I don't know, about 15 years ago in what she called winter camp, and went up to her home in Edmonton.
Wonderful.
And I spent, I think, 10 days there with her in Edmonton doing my first row, and I'm going to be able to dance it tonight. Yeah. And I just like,
Yeah, I know.
because I know that she had to learn how to weave again. And Kay Parker has been always a gentle, she's not Native, but she's just been a gentle, respectful person.
Yes.
And and so and then through all of that time, those losses, and we understand in our families how much we lose.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for weaving, I don't know. I was just feeling my age, thinking, well, why do I want to try this? You know, I'm just old, and now I'm 85, and why do I want to start something new? But it just makes me feel alive to have my hands on that.
It's
stuff.
in you. It's in you. Truly.
It just makes me alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And laying that robe on my great granddaughter, and my great grandson here, standing by with his baby, was way beyond anything you can imagine. To be able to live long enough. I lost my mother when she was only at 40. Like many of us have lost our mothers to, I called social despair. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. But so the journey with healing, and I did the Chilkat child's robe, but with this Raven's Tail robe, it was during a busy time in my life, but you know, you trudge on, you know. I was determined, you're going to meet the deadline, you know. It was just, okay, the fire is there, you know. I mean, I also teach Raven's Tail, and I would like to introduce Chilkat, but maybe a few of them will be ready for that in Juneau. But anyway, it's been great. The title of my robe is Ancestral Connections, and I was telling you earlier, you know, because of the wonderful oral history that Johnny C. Jackson of my clan all in Tlingit shared about the migration. And Johnny Marks, when he worked up at Sea Alaska, he translated all that into English. And so it's been really important to be documenting, and we couldn't be land otter for many years. In fact, my grandmother used to cry about that a lot. She'd tell her children that one day you'll be able to be land otter again, but I won't see it in my lifetime, you know. And so like connecting important oral history like that, that has been saved and brought to our clan again is wonderful. And so doing the robe with all our ancestors on there in the concentric, they call it concentric boxes, but to me it's the box of daylight.
Yes.
I see the box of daylight, you know, the sun, moon,
Yes,
stars, because with the flood and going back into oral history, our clan names are right. The old man, Yéil Koowú, he's from my clan, you know? And so having the box of daylights on there, and it's truly, Hashagun, truly connecting past, present, and future generations, you know? And so when I'm weaving it and really thinking about you think about all that have gone before. You know, here we are. You know, walking in their footsteps, weaving away. And so it's been a journey. It's been a journey because we lost some major leaders in our clan, and they're no longer with us. And my uncle had a nephew he thought he was going to put in as our leader, but he changed his mind before he died, and he got sick unexpectedly, and he named me in his place. And women aren't in such a position, you know, unless there is not a man that can be there, you know. So there's a lot of responsibility, you know, and so I love weaving and creating, and I do other mediums, and so what better way to lift our clan up and to be weaving pieces. We have his kawik, and I want to do it right and weave what I can, not only for our clan members, but also for the special gifts, the guests that were there, the special guests that were there during our time of need. And so I keep saying it's healing. It truly is. It truly is. And it's been a journey that I've loved. I've not been able to zoom in on Sundays, unfortunately.
I've only heard your name a few times.
Right.
It's okay with Lily, though. She's so patient with that.
She is. There's a few of the weavers that I do know personally. And I know Deb, she sent me an email once in a while. Come back to the Zoom. You know, she's wanting me to come back.
Deb O'Gara, right?
Yes. And but anyway, it's been great. It's been great too, and exciting to see so many weavers. And I'm
the box of daylight. All my concentric boxes have daylight in it because that's been the primary part of no matter how tough it's been.
Yeah.
I'm a survivor.
Yeah.
And there's always sunshine when you look for it. It's always light.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
That's what my grandmothers taught me. Never forget to look for the light.
That's right.
So.
Gunalchéesh, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing.